go to console.cloud.google.com. Once you are on this page, on top you will see your projects. So click on this project and then click on new project. And here my new project is, I'll call it Streamlit, and no organization, and just say create. So this is the project getting created. Click on Streamlit project, select project, and now my project is here. Now on this page, go and click on API and services, and then click on, well, let's click on credentials. So here you can see you can create credential for OAuth or API keys or any service account. So let's say create credentials, OAuth client ID. You must first configure your consent screen, do that. Here you can choose internal or external. I'm going to choose external. I will not be able to choose internal because you are not a Google Workspace user. So if you are a Google Workspace user, you can choose internal. So I'm going to choose external and say create. My app name is we'll choose add scopes. What we just need a email and profile, but you can choose other things, but for now we'll just choose email and profile. Save and continue. Add users. Now back to dashboard. So you can see OAuth consent screen here. You can see your publishing status. User cap is there because it is in testing. Once it goes in production, then you will not have those caps, things like that. So now go back to credential and say create credential, auth client ID, application type. I'm going to choose a web application. So you have this multiple options, but let's go with the web applications for now. And web client 1, let's call it Streamlit web client. So authorized redirect URI is my local host, and then we'll say create. And this is giving me my client ID and my client secret. Copy both of these files and keep it. For now, I'll download the JSON. Okay, now, so we are back here in VS Code. So let's create a .NET env file. This is the dummy file I'm showing you, but your env file will be exactly like this. Put the client ID and client secret, which you just got from the Google website for OAuth, and here's my redirect URI I am showing. Now, okay, now let's go and look at the main file. It is very simple. There's just one title and a string saying this is how you can log in, and there's a button. When you will press, it will show you the display name. So let's first run it, and then we'll go about the looking at the code. So new terminal. Streamlit run main file, and here's my local host is running. As you can see, it just wrote a string. Click here to do Google login. We will talk about it, this get login string, in a minute. So when I click here, as you can see, it went up on the URL. You can see it has logged in. I did not see a login screen because I already logged in, it's in cache. But if I click display user, I should be able to see who is logged in. So let's look this in a different browser so I can see the login box. So I am starting this new browser, copying this localhost, and here I'm clicking login. And as you can see, it is showing me choose an account to continue to Streamlit application. And I can click here, log in, give my password. Okay, I'm back with the code up on top here. Now I'll click on display user and I should be able to see the user who is logged in. So now let's come back to the code and see what's happening here. Main is calling get login string. And let's go into the auth, get login string, which is basically calling a get authorization URL. And this method, get authorization URL, is using client, and client is created like this: Google Auth 2, client ID, client secret, and this is how you import the Google Auth 2. Here's the URL. You can go and read more about it there. This is https OAuth clients.google. So using client, I create a authorization URL, just pass my scope, profile and email, get an authorization URL, which I just simply return as a proper HTML, so Google login. And that's what you see. I'm writing just saying, hey, just click here to log in. This line. So click here. Now, when I click display user, it just goes and display this user. What's happening here? I get the code out of the URL. See code here, and if you see the URL, here is the code. So I get this whole code back, and I need to pass this code to get the access token. Again, I have to use client to get the access token. So what is get access token? Client.get access token, pass the code and redirect URI, and it returns a token to you. Now here, using this token, put access token out of the token and pass to a method called get email. Get email again uses the client get ID email. So all this detail you can see from this URL. So you see get ID from email. This is what I'm using. User ID, user email. It returns user ID, user email, and you just display that. So this is a very, very simple code. It is not a proper production code, as I'm putting something in global variables and all here, which I hope you will not do. But I just wanted to show you quickly how you can do a OAuth login with Streamlit using Google Auth.